My name's Nick. I started Nick's Electronics 10 years ago, and since then we've fixed over 25,000 devices. In today's video, we're going to be fixing a police scanner. The customer that brought it in had physical damage to the charging port, so that's what we're going to be replacing today. This is our charging port in question, and as you can see, it is definitely damaged. So first, let's disassemble the unit to get to the circuit board. We're going to be using our Jake My toolkit. If you're interested, we'll have it available on our website. Okay, we should be able to start pulling this apart. And now we've revealed another 4 screws. Alright, and in order for that to pass through, we're going to have to push the battery holder in to clear the plastic. There we go. So this went like that. We'll clear the rubber pieces off. Okay. Alright, and now we're getting closer to our port. Our port over here is covered by this metal bracket, so we're going to have to remove that first. And it looks like it's soldered on the back side. So let me try and melt that joint first. Okay. There's decent flow. Oh, a little bit of a slip. So actually that's just going to be easier for me if I had it facing towards me instead of away. Okay, yeah, we're going to want to make sure we don't make too much contact with the side of that screen. It looks like there's a little adhesive, a little plastic I just melted. Just want to be careful with that. Now, I don't believe there's any damage at this moment on it, but I just want to be cognizant of it. And there's a very little room to operate here. And we're going to try and rotate it again. All right. Oh. So it looks like we got it loosened up. There we go. Now we've exposed the port itself. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cover some of the components with some aluminum tape. And we're gonna wanna protect that little CMOS battery here. Oh, we don't wanna cover the joint. All right, so that looks a little bit better. So our board is nice and protected, except for the port, of course. Now, one thing I'd like to do here is I'm going to add some solder to all of our joints. So part of the reason I want to do this is that it's going to give me a visual indicator of when I have good flow on the board and when I can go ahead and remove the port. And I am going overboard, and that's all right. We'll remove that excess here in a bit. Next, we're gonna add just a little bit of flux. Now we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some hot air. Okay, and I can see the solder starting to flow on some of the joints. Can I remove it? There we go. Yes, I can. All right, that looks like a pretty clean lift. And while the board is hot, we're going to go ahead and desolder that excess solder that's left over. Yeah, we're going to give that a quick little cleanup. Get rid of some of that flux. All right, and now we're gonna have to select a replacement piece. Okay, and it looks like that might be our winning replacement piece. The shape looks similar, the pins look similar. Let's flip it over. Yeah, that's looking like our guy. And we're gonna go ahead and lock that in. And I'm gonna actually move it just a little bit over. Okay, I think I like that. And for the back pins, we're gonna actually add some flux right now because I'm gonna be using a much smaller soldering tip, and that smaller tip is not going to do as good of a job transferring heat. Okay, so actually what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit of hot air. And I'm only gonna do about 15 seconds. I'm not actually trying to get to the melting point of the solder. We're gonna add a little bit of fresh solder, or flux, and we're gonna try again. Just wanna make sure I get good flow on that last pin here. I'm having a hard time getting the flow I want. So I may have to actually go to a larger solder, larger tip for the iron. There we go, that's much better. Yeah, there we go. I'm just putting a little pressure on each pin to make sure that they are all soldered correctly and none of them are moving. So I think we have a successful installation here. We can go ahead and remove the aluminum tape. All right, and now we can go ahead and give it one more clean, since it looks like some of the flux did get underneath that tape. All right. And now we can go ahead and reassemble it. All right, we're gonna put the metal bracket back on. So this piece went here. I believe we'll put this one next. Now, before we put the top cover on, we do need to put these rubber pieces back in. All right, and that's our results post-repair. That looks a heck of a lot better. All right, so here we go. We're gonna go ahead and plug in our USB for final confirmation. And it is saying it's detecting the USB cable installed, so we know that our repair is working. If you have a device you'd like to send in for us to fix, we will have our contact form linked in the video description down below. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful or useful, make sure to leave us a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you for watching.